has to be Cristiano Ronaldo.
Sixers, if they play Boston first round, Celtics are at first round exit.
Oh
They're
my
going
gosh, you are
bye.
insane.
And all 4 games that they lost in the ALCS were in Houston, the only place that they were cheating.
Now,
care.
the same way he's been playing, it doesn't matter. If Sam Darnold has that coaching staff in that playbook, he's a better player. We saw it in the last 5 weeks of the NFL regular season last year, and we're going to see it this entire season.
Hang on.
Kawhi Leonard is just a tad better than LeBron James. After
Welcome back to Go Chat. Welcome back to another episode. We are on episode number 7.
Welcome back to Go Chat. I'm here with Mike, Matt, and Tommy. It's episode number 15. How are you all today?
Good.
Good.
Ready to talk.
We're going to start off our episode, as always, with our Go to the number 15. Tommy's probably going to go Yankees, so we'll just start with him.
Well, of course I'm going to go with the Yankee. I think only one or a couple weeks I haven't gone with the Yankee, but it's going to be Thurman Munson. He was a captain for the Yankees, had a big impact on and off the field. Incredible player, 1,500 hits. He had a .292 career batting average, won MVP, 7-time All-Star. And he won 2 World Series with the Yankees. Unfortunately, his career was cut short. He was killed in a tragic plane accident. But he was just an incredible player, even better person. So Thurman Munson's my go of the number 15.
Great pick. We're going to skip over Mike for a second and go to Matt. Matt, who's your go to the 15?
I didn't even know who Thurman Munson was. Not gonna lie.
One of the best catchers. Oh my! I don't even know what to say. He's incredible.
He has a great mustache.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who he is then. Because his mustache, not his game. But
Well, he's not Raleigh Fingers. You know Raleigh Fingers? He's got that famous mustache. But
all right, I'm just gonna skip to my go to the number 15. I'm gonna have to go with Bart Starr, 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl champion, obviously Super Bowl number 1 and number 2. He's a 1-time MVP, 1-time All-Pro, 5-time NFL champ before there was a Super Bowl, and obviously he's a Hall of Famer. He's played with one of the best coaches too, Vince Lombardi, who obviously the trophy's named after. Just such a historic guy. So much respect for him as a Packers fan, and he unfortunately passed away last year. It was tragic for Packers fans and even football fans around the world. So I'm thankful to have read his book. Got to get the knowledge up, but I'm going to go with him for go to number 15.
Mike, I guess it is your time to talk here. Number 15, go.
Yeah, it's definitely Bart Starr. As much as I hate to say I don't like the Packers, as you have seen in previous episodes, but Bart Starr is definitely the best number 15 we have seen to yet play. Thurman Munson was a great player, but it sucks that his career was a little too short, but I think that kind of disqualifies him from competing with Bart Starr. And another person I want to shout out is Melo. But the thing is with Melo, he only wore 15 for
Houston, baby.
Yeah, for Syracuse, and only during his time with the Nuggets. So I feel like that kind of disqualifies him there as well. But he does have multiple forms. You got the normal NBA Melo, and you got Hoodie Melo. If we're talking Hoodie Melo, that's a whole different game we're talking about. So, yeah, definitely has to be Bart Starr. But, Connor, let's hear your thoughts.
So I'm going to go off the board here for a little bit. It's not going to be Thurman or Bart Starr. He may not be the GOAT of the number 15, but he played a pivotal role to establish a game for himself, and it's going to be Vince Carter of numerous different teams in the NBA. He's rocked 15 for various different teams. He's an 8-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. He won the Rookie of the Year back in 1998. He was an All-Rookie in 1998, and he won the Slam Dunk Contest in 2000. Every sports fan knows the Vince Carter Slam Dunk. It's just he can throw it down over anybody. So he may not be up there with the magnitude of Bart Starr or someone of the magnitude of Thurman Munson, but the way he paved his way through the league, being that middle-of-the-way player, and he's still going to wind up in the Hall of Fame there, he's definitely the go to the 15 for me.
Vinsanity. He was great.
I definitely have to agree with some of the points he made. I just think Vince Carter was really polarizing in the way that he played, the athleticism that he possessed. Obviously, the elbow and the rim dunk was, something all sports fans know, whether you're a fan of basketball or not. It's something you've seen before. And he's just someone that's taken over the game. Not only that, but in his later years, he obviously has not been up to par talent-wise and athleticism-wise, but he's found a way to contribute to teams through his veteran leadership and really showing how the younger players should approach the game. So definitely, I don't think that he can compete with Bart Starr, but he's definitely another great player.
As I've said numerous times for my go to the 15, it's also what they do off the court, and he's just been a great mentor for all the younger stars that he's worked with throughout his career. So I mean that along with all of his other accolades and achievements definitely weighed into my option here.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, with the coronavirus, his career was ended a little short. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Vince's last game, like his actual last game where they like hype it up and stuff. But definitely a great player. I think also when we need to look at it, I want to shout out, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, such a young guy. By the end of this, I was telling you guys yesterday, by the end of his career, he's probably going to be the GOAT, number 15 easily. And then also I want to shout out Megan Rapinoe. I love the U.S. women's team. I've talked about them multiple times with Julie Ertz and Alex Morgan. I think that she's also a great player on and off the field, and she definitely needs to be mentioned as number 15.
One other person that I want to mention is a Florida quarterback, Tim Tebow. His time in college. Yeah, he's one of the best college quarterbacks that we have ever seen, maybe behind Joe Burrow's season last season. But I mean, he was just unstoppable in Florida, won a BCS championship there. He was unstoppable, wore the number 15. It was great.
Timmy.
Well, I mean, he was even good on the Broncos, you know what I mean? And listen, you could talk as much garbage as you want about Tim, but he still switched sports when he was 30 years old. He didn't play baseball since high school, and he's switching. He's playing at not necessarily the highest level, but he's playing at a pretty damn high level. You know what I mean? And Double A, and I think he moved up to Triple A. So even though he definitely got signed for clout, he still has talent to play multiple sports.
Yeah, he played for Syracuse, the Mets. Yeah, but
all right. I think that kind of wraps it up. You guys have any other comments?
As always, we all threw out some great names here.
Can't wait for 16.
We are going to move into the next segment. See ya. Welcome back to Go Chat. We will swing it right over to Connor for new NFL news that we will discuss. Connor, what do you have for us?
Yeah, we're going to have a big NFL segment here today. So I'm just going to start off with some big NFL news from this past week. The NFL canceled the Hall of Fame game in early August. They also shortened their preseason to 2 games. And then CBS Sports came out with something a couple days ago where the NFL is considering having fans sign a COVID waiver if they want to attend games in this season. And then obviously the big news around the NFL right now is the Washington Redskins possibly changing their name. They said they're going to go into a thorough investigation about changing their name after all of the reformities and protests and everything that's been going on in our country for the past month and a half. So that's a definite possibility. What do you guys think?
I think the COVID waiver is interesting. I'm not sure. When I heard that, I was like, really? I think it's less of like a personal safety thing. I think it's more of a safety thing of like the whole United States. You know what I mean? Like we got to stop the spread of the virus, and the cases are starting to spike all over the country again. So who knows if we're even going to have sports back? But that's on the back burner for now, as the lives of many are at risk. But anyways, I also think that the Redskins name change is good. Is bringing social reform to the forefront, and there are a bunch of cool names that we've come up with that we will discuss. But I'll let Matt and Tommy talk about what they think about the new news. What do you guys think?
Obviously with the coronavirus, I think it's too early to tell whether this COVID forum will be put in place. Just saying that because I'm not sure where the coronavirus will be at the start of the NFL season. I think that probably the smartest thing to say right now is no fans at NFL games. But obviously, not my decision. I'm not 100% sure who even makes that decision. But, money talks. I've said that before on this. So for that news. But the Redskins, I'm really interested to see what they change to. Not 100% sure if I like some of the ideas that they've had that are rumors that I've heard, but definitely going to be interesting to see and definitely going to be life-changing in that situation in the NFL.
Tommy, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. With the virus, like you guys said, it's going to be difficult for sports to come back. And with the NFL, we don't know where the virus is going to be at that point. So, who knows if they'll end up using the form. But I think that's something that you'll see across sports once fans are allowed back in the stands. I've heard baseball talk about that, having a waiver potentially for fans to sign. I know they want to get fans in. There's some teams that want to try to get fans in, even right at the start. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yeah. And as for the Redskins name change, I think it's good that they're changing it. And you hear a lot of different name changes and different ideas they're throwing out there. So it'll be interesting to see what they land on.
And then one thing also with the waiver is I read somewhere that the NFL has also given the decision about fans up to the teams and the stadiums. So, for example, the Giants and the Jets share MetLife Stadium. So it would be under the decision of both the Jets and the Giants would collaborate together and then meet with MetLife Stadium because that's a different venue than the NFL itself. And then those two parties would come together to decide if they will allow fans there in the fall or not.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to wrap my head around to get this right. I think that some ways are going to be wrong, but, time will tell and we'll just see what happens.
I guess that's all the real news that we have right now, but we're going to jump into a groundbreaking thing that happened in the AFC East last week. Obviously, we all know the New England Patriots signed Cam Newton to a one-year deal worth up to $1.75 million. What do you guys think about this deal from New England? Do you think he's there to be a backup for Stidham, or is he there to win another AFC East title for New England?
I love this deal. I think he's there to wreak havoc in the AFC East. Obviously, Cam Newton, last year he didn't do well, but obviously he's been working hard. We've seen that on Instagram. And also, he's playing for the Patriots. I think that he's going to come back to the player that he used to be, not his MVP caliber season. Definitely not. I'm not saying that at all. I just think that he's going to be back. He's going to wreak havoc in the AFC East. I think that they're going to be AFC East champions. And I think if you start Stidham, you're making a wrong decision. I think you got to start Newton. Obviously, we'll see what happens in whatever training camps they're having, obviously, and the 2 preseason games. But I'm so excited just to watch this happen.
Tommy, what do you think about Cam going to the Patriots? You had suggested that here on this show a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, I agree with Matt, too. I think it's a great move. I was hoping that would happen because, it just seems like it makes the most sense, right? Because you have Tom Brady, one of the best quarterbacks of all time there. He finally leaves. And not that Stidham isn't going to be good, but, I don't know. I feel like if you're the Patriots, you have to have someone that you can rely on way more than Stidham. And Cam Newton, certainly that player. And I agree with Matt. I think he's going to start. But, Belichick does like Stidham, right? So it's possible that,
100% possible.
Yeah, so they could give Newton the majority of the time, but still give Stidham some opportunities. And if he's playing well, put him in there. But I think it's a great move for the Patriots, and I agree, Matt. I think they're going to be contending again. And, the Patriots, we've seen the dynasty with Brady. Oh, no, it could be a turning point. See what Newton does there. But very intriguing for sure.
Mike, what's your options on this?
When this news came out, I was honestly shocked. I did not think it was going to happen because I thought it would have happened much earlier than it actually did happen. But I'm much less bullish than you guys are on Cam. I think that the injuries impacted him immensely, and I don't even know if he's going to start. I think it's going to be a 50-50 race for the job between him and Stidham. Even an anonymous AFC East head coach came out and said the Patriots really like Stidham. They really believe in what he can do. So don't be surprised if he starts over Cam. That's why his contract is so incentive-based, because the Patriots don't even know if he's going to start. I think Cam signed with the team that he has the best chance starting for. That's 100%, but I don't even know if he's going to start. And if he does play, he has not played well the last couple of years. You know, he's had the foot injury and then the shoulder injury. We don't know if he's going to be accurate. I mean, to be honest, throughout his whole career, he has never really been accurate. He's never thrown for less than 10 interceptions in a season. And I just think if he's accurate enough and he could still run the ball like he's used to, then I think Belichick will find a way to, you know, take advantage of that. But if I'm the odds makers right now, I'm not budging, because if I was betting for the AFC East, I'm taking the Bills all the way. I even think the Jets might finish higher than the Patriots this year.
Well, I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to say Cam's move to the Patriots instantly puts them back right there at the top of the AFC East. We got to remember, Cam Newton's an MVP in the league just a couple years ago.
It's Cam Newton. Like, you can't just say, oh, he's not going to be good because he had injuries. Like, you can't. You can say that about Peyton Manning too.
If we remember,
the neck injury.
Peyton Manning, he had a serious neck injury, and he came back and won a Super Bowl.
I mean, but the thing is, he was good before that.
I understand Peyton Manning and Cam Newton are not the same player. But, I mean, you also just mentioned that he's never had under 10 interceptions in a season. In my opinion, interceptions are a dying stat in the NFL as far as the quarterback's concerned. Because you can throw 10 interceptions in a season, but if you're throwing 35 touchdowns –
okay, that was his MVP season. He hasn't come close to that. He went 35-10 in his.
He doesn't need to be an MVP for the Patriots to win the AFC East. Tom Brady didn't even put like the best numbers last year. They still won the AFC East. They have a great defense. I mean, all Cam Newton has to do is fill in a little bit that Tom Brady was doing. And look, Tom Brady wasn't first 4 weeks. I'm pretty sure I read a stat that, disregarding his first 4 weeks, which I think was great, Mitch Trubisky was a better quarterback than Tom Brady for the rest of the year.
The thing with Cam Newton is if he relies on people around him, if he relies on Julian Edelman, and if he relies on Sony Michel and James White there in New England, he's going to succeed. That's the thing that he didn't really have in Carolina until he got Christian McCaffrey, was he didn't have that real weapons around him, where now he has a very solid slot receiver, and he has a young receiver in N'Keal Harry and 2 solid running backs, where if he utilizes those pieces around him and stops trying to do the stuff all on his own, which is what he had to do in Carolina, he's a better quarterback than what his numbers say.
I think he had better weapons in Carolina than he does in New England right now. Tom Brady left because he had no help in New England. They have no outside threat outside of the numbers. They have Julian Edelman, who can, he's a great slot receiver, and they have 2 decent running backs. But other than that, what do they have? At least in Carolina, he had DJ Moore, he had Curtis Samuel, he had Christian
DJ Moore for like
back,
1 year.
Moore and Curtis Samuel compared to Julian Edelman?
Julian Edelman is one player. They have Mohamed Sanu starting, a washed-up Mohamed Sanu starting, and N'Keal Harry, who's very disappointing in his first year.
Carolina had a washed-up Devin Funchess and a busted Kelvin Benjamin, dude.
And a really old Steve Smith Sr.
Steve Smith was still killing it. He was killing it.
Killing it is too much. He was not killing it.
He was totally
playing okay. He was not torching. He was not killing it.
He's 5 times better than whatever the Patriots have now. And Edelman is injury prone anyways.
This is not a conversation
Just like Cam.
about Cam's weapons. This is a conversation about Cam Newton and what we think he's going to do in New England. And, Mike, you're the only one that doesn't think he's going to succeed. Obviously, you could be right. He might not succeed. He may be a complete bust. That's why they gave him not a lot of money. But New England's going to look like geniuses if he goes out there and starts week 1 and he blows it up. He doesn't have to have a season like he did when he was an MVP, and he's going to bring that team to another AFC title, no problem. With the defense the way it is, the defense didn't change that much. And then you give him those weapons, whatever weapons you think he has or doesn't have, he has them, and he's going to succeed.
He has no weapons. The Patriots have no threat on the outside. I don't know what you're talking. They still have no tight end. We're gonna get into it about possible destinations for NJOKU. I think the Patriots would be a great spot for NJOKU, but they have no outside threat. I mean, that's why Tom Brady left. Tom Brady was a part of the Patriots organization for 20 plus years. He doesn't leave that organization if he doesn't think that they can't win. And you saw last year in the playoffs against the Tennessee Titans that the Patriots had no weapons. Tom Brady had no help around him. And Cam, it's going to affect him. I think Cam is extremely talented, but he has no one around him to help. And I don't think he could throw the ball I just don't think he could throw the ball well. I feel like he is just a glorified Josh Allen at this point. And obviously, a glorified Josh Allen can lead a team to the playoffs. So there's a great chance that the Patriots do make the playoffs. I'm not sure if they do. I think they're better off with Cam than Stidham just because we have not seen what Stidham can do. But I'm just saying that Cam Newton, he's being way overrated right now. People are thinking like he's the next Messiah coming in to save the Patriots. He's not. The Patriots still have a great chance of not making the playoffs. I bet that they don't unless they slide into the 7th spot with the new NFL format. But I'm telling you right now, Cam Newton will not have a great impact on the Patriots.
I mean, I haven't heard anyone saying that he's the next Messiah or anything.
I haven't heard any of that.
I haven't heard that.
You're talking
I
about
don't know where
AFC
you're getting
East
your
titles.
news. DallasCowboyFanatic.com. Don't know where you're getting it. But I've not heard that. I've not heard that he's Messiah. I've not heard he's next Mahomes, blah, blah, blah. I've not heard that he's the next best thing. I have heard that he is a guy that could bring the Patriots to an AFC East championship. And even this kid's a Jets fan, and he said it. I mean, Connor Wood, thank you for everything that you said. I think that three of us are say that he's going to win the AFC East. I think that it's going to happen. And
you really think that he's going to beat out the Bills for the AFC East title?
I'm talking about him winning the AFC East. A quarterback isn't the only position on the field.
I understand that.
An elite defense. If Cam can go out there and put up 20 points a game for that offense, which is very likely, they're going to win 12 games.
They won 11 last year, and they average over 20 points a game. What are you talking about? They still have the best secondary in the league, but they did lose a couple pieces at linebacker. Listen, I think they'll hover around 500, but the AFC East is out of their reach right now. The Bills are stepping into that place as the kings of the AFC East with Josh Allen improving year after year. They are a great young team with a great coach. They're just a better team overall.
Do not call the Buffalo Bills the kings of the AFC East when
they haven't even won it in since when? 1995?
It's going to happen this year?
Don't call them the kings if they haven't won anything yet.
Okay. Listen, at the end of the season, I'm going to be here sitting back, sipping on my tea when the Bills go 12-4 and win the AFC East.
I hope you enjoy your tea.
Yeah, I really do.
I even like tea. I'm going to enjoy it thoroughly.
All right. We're not going to get through to Mike, so I just say we jump into our next big topic here, which is David NJOKU. He's obviously a Cleveland Brown, only 23 years old, and he did this week request a trade. In my opinion, I think he's another wasted talent to come out of Cleveland. He was misused, and he's another weapon there that Baker Mayfield have that he just couldn't get the ball to, and it's unfortunate. Where do you guys think David NJOKU could land here at the end of this entire thing?
Like I mentioned earlier, I think the Patriots are a great spot. Cam needs more targets, like I discussed earlier. So the Patriots have probably the worst tight end depth chart in the whole league. But I think that's a spot. And then I also look at the Houston Texans. They did replace DeAndre Hopkins with Brandon Cooks, but Brandon Cooks is not DeAndre Hopkins. So I think they could also use another weapon at tight end. But one thing to point out, if he does go to the Patriots, that's a big piece for them. Because some of Cam's best years in Carolina were with Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen being one of the best tight ends in the league during Cam's MVP season. So I think a great tight end will thoroughly help Cam out. And then we might be having a different discussion. But I think those two spots are definitely great spots for David NJOKU, who I think is immensely talented. You go and watch some of his highlights, and you know, he was injured last year, which sucks, but I think Freddie Kitchens was a horrible coach anyways and did not know what he was doing. So I think David NJOKU could definitely become a top 10 tight end in this league if he goes to the right spot.
Tommy, where you see David Njoku going?
I think he's gonna go the Cardinals. That's my pick because they don't have a strong tight end. I think they could use an improvement in that position. And you mentioned they got DeAndre Hopkins. And I think they're gonna try to go top heavy on offense to help out Kyler Murray. So that's who I think he would be a good fit with, but we'll see.
That's a great pick there. I can definitely see him going to the Cardinals. There have DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and then him on the inside. That's a scary offense right there. Matt, where do you see him going?
I think that both of you guys pointed out great teams to have him going. Obviously, Cardinals, they could go very top heavy on offense for Kyler Murray in his second year. And then Patriots with Cam Newton and Houston Texans too. There's a lot of teams that don't have a strong tight end, but I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go homer here. I think that this is a position that they need. Right now, their starting tight end is Jace Sternberger, who was in his second year, and he was hurt pretty much most of his first. He was on the IR for like halfway of the season. And then behind him is Mercedes Lewis, who is one of the oldest guys, I'm pretty sure, in the NFL at tight end position. So I think that David Njoku can work with Green Bay. I'm not sure if he's going to be that great. I mean, obviously Green Bay is not the best with tight ends, obviously having Jimmy Graham and then Martellus Bennett before that. But I would love to see him at Green Bay. I definitely think it could help out Rodgers, something that the organization didn't do by drafting Jordan Love in the first round. But, knowing the Green Bay organization, they're not going to do it. So I'm not sure, but I think that's the best spot for him.
You mentioned Jimmy Graham there. I could see Njoku going to a team that did just recently sign Jimmy Graham during the offseason, and that's the Chicago Bears. Jimmy Graham really hasn't been playing Jimmy Graham football in his past seasons. I mean, once he left New Orleans, it was Jimmy Graham football. Jimmy Graham prime was over. And now we have a likely starter there in Nick Foles, who worked great with his tight ends when he was there in Philly. I could see Njoku going there. Again, he's only 23 years old. You match him up with Allen Robinson, who now may have a quarterback that he can work well with. I mean, poor Allen Robinson there. Just for a sidetrack here, his quarterbacks in the NFL have been Blaine Gabbert and Mitchell Trubisky.
Blake Bortles too.
Blake Bortles too. I mean, that's unfortunate. But no, I'm back to the original topic. Is if you bring Njoku in there with Allen Robinson and have Njoku run down the middle and Allen Robinson down the side with Nick Foles under center, I think that could be a good offense there. So I could see him definitely going to Chicago there.
I think the problem with Chicago, they just have so many bodies at the tight end position. They also drafted a tight end in one of the early rounds this year. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was a tight end from Notre Dame. But I just think that they have too many bodies at that position, and you don't go out and give up cap space and sign Jimmy Graham, and then go out, give up some trade assets for David Njoku. So I don't think that's a very viable spot. I think the Cardinals and the Packers are both viable spots. I think the Packers are an extremely viable spot. They have no one at that position. They lost Jimmy Graham, even though I don't think he's good at all. He was at least someone that can catch the ball. So I think David Njoku would be – yeah. David Njoku would be a great piece for the Packers, maybe the second coming of Jermichael Finley. If you guys remember that, he was another great tight end for the Packers. But after Jermichael Finley, the Packers have had nothing. So I think Njoku could be a great addition for the Packers. They need more threats. They have Devonta Adams, Valdez-Scantling, and nothing.
And I mean, according to Mike down here, we've already talked about the Kings of the AFC East in Buffalo. They really don't have a really viable tight end up there. So I could see him fitting up there in Buffalo, and that would give Josh Allen yet another target, and that could actually make them the Kings of the AFC East.
Well, I mean, you did just say yourself. You just called the Bills the Kings of the AFC East.
Yeah, I'm mocking.
Theoretically, they would be the Kings of the East. I mean, I think the thing about the Bills is they have Dawson Knox. I think they're going to go with Dawson Knox.
He did have a really good campaign last year.
He did. And I liked what you said about the Bears. I like the analysis you gave. I just don't think like what Mike said, I don't think the Bears are going to do that, especially after getting Graham and Cole Kmet. But I think the Ertz-Foles connection that he had, especially in the Super Bowl, was great. I think that Foles, if he starts, hopefully he doesn't, because I don't want to see Nick Foles. I like him. I don't want to see him as a Bear. So I hope he doesn't start. But I think that he could be good with Cole Kmet. And if NJOKU does come to the Bears, I think that it would be a good one too for him.
One more thing that I want to talk about before we get into the Washington Redskins' new names is a possible landing spot for JADEVEON CLOWNEY. He's been on the market for way too long, in my opinion, and he's still a great defensive end here in the National Football League. So where could you guys see him landing up, or do you see him not on a team by the time we get Week 1 rolling around?
I think I've seen a lot of rumors about this. I was looking into it maybe a couple weeks ago. I think a great spot for him would be Philly. I think that Philly needs a big part on their defense. I'm not sure if they want to use that use their money for him. Not 100% for sure on that, but I think that Philly, if they come get him, obviously it's going to be kind of funny since he knocked out Carson Wentz in the playoffs last year. But I think that would be a good spot. Also think the Titans, if they want to get a really heavy defense for Derrick Henry on the offense, have really heavy defense, that'd be good for him too.
Mike, what are you thinking?
Well, first off, I don't think Philly would be the best spot for him. I think the defensive line for Philly is one of their team's strengths. They have Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett. If anything, I think Philly should go out and pursue a linebacker, as they lost some pieces there over the offseason, and they haven't really replaced them. But he is rumored to prefer the Cowboys and the Saints. I personally think he would be a really good fit with the Cowboys, opposite of DeMarcus Lawrence. Even though Clowney has not lived up to his draft height, I think he's a great run defender, a good pass rusher as well. And the Cowboys just kind of have a lot of okay players opposite of DeMarcus Lawrence. If you throw JADEVEON CLOWNEY in there, you could play inside, he could play outside. He can really propel the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. And the only thing that they have to give up is just cap space. They can make some wiggle room. Jerry's a great businessman. So I think the Cowboys are a good landing spot for him. And also, I also think the Tennessee Titans are a great landing spot. As they did lose Jarrell Casey in the offseason, they traded him to the Broncos. So I think they need someone to replace him. So I think the Cowboys and the Titans are the two best fits right now.
Tommy, I know you're not a big football guy. You got any teams where you think we could see Clowney ending up?
Yeah, I think he could go the Eagles. I think that's a good pick because they need pass rushers and they're kind of lacking that right now, the Eagles are. So I think that he'd be a good fit there. That's who I'm going to go with.
These are all great teams, but I'm gonna go with my JETS here, right here, Jets. He was rumored to them all throughout free agency, and they can never pull the trigger here. So now here's what I'm going to say to the Jets right now. If you're not going to sign Jamal Adams, go out and sign the pass rusher. If you're not going to sign the best strong safety in the league, go out there and get someone who can get to the quarterback. If you're going to give up you're going to give up someone up here for the defensive talent, get someone here who can still be a quality or piece on your defense. There's no reason you can't do that.
I think what was I going to say? I think he would be a great signing for the Jets, but if I'm the Cowboys right now and I'm deciding between Jamal Adams and JADEVEON CLOWNEY, I'm going with JADEVEON CLOWNEY just because I don't have to give up trade assets for him. With Jamal Adams, you're giving up at least a first, maybe 2 firsts, and I don't think the Cowboys are going to do that. Plus, you're giving up $15+ million a year. With JADEVEON CLOWNEY, you're probably only giving up like $10 million a year and a roster spot. So it's a much greater. Well, it's not as great of an impact as Jamal Adams would be, but you're giving up much less. So if I'm Jerry Jones right now, I'm calling up JADEVEON CLOWNEY's agent, and I'm saying, get your butt to Dallas right now. Get your butt to the Star, and we are signing you.
For sure.
I think this is all very good insight. I kind of just threw that topic out there for you guys really quick. So we've talked about the Redskins changing their name. Let's all go around, say a quick name that we think we could see the Redskins changing to. Tommy, I'll start with you up here.
Yeah, I think that they could go back to their baseball roots, actually. They were named the Senators when they were originally a baseball team. So I think that would be a good pick for them. Go with kind of with the city of Washington. I think that'd be a good pick for them.
Matt.
I'm going to go with it. I want to see the Red Pandas. I want to see the Washington Red Pandas. No, but actually, Red Hawks would be very interesting. I've heard about concepts with the Red Hawks. I think that would be – I like that better than the other ones. I'm not sure what you guys are going to mention.
Mike, what name are you going with?
I actually do like the Red Hawks, but I'm kind of going to veer away, and I'm going to go with the Washington Guard. I don't want to go with the Washington Guardians because, the New York Guardians of the XFL would be kind of, poaching their name. But I don't know. I just think the Washington Guard is a cool name. It's like the military, protecting your home field, like football related. So I just like that name.
I'm going to go with the Washington Warriors. Sounds like a great name, and it really isn't too far off from the Redskins there and what they're trying to get. It's still that fighting aspect there. So I think the Washington Warriors could be a good fit there.
The thing I just want to point this out about the Washington Warriors, I think I could be wrong, but I think with the Red Hawks, you might not have to change, like, I guess, because red, I don't think you have to change the colorway or anything. I'm not sure if the Warriors would even change that, or, you're going to have to change the logo, but you could still go maybe with the R, the Redskins secondary logo with the R. Definitely interesting, though.
Well, I mean, I think if I'm the Redskins right now, I kind of want to totally rebrand. So honestly, I like the Warriors the best. It's sort of like the Washington Wizards. You have that alliteration right there. But if they get some sort of knight in like shining armor or something like that, that'd be a really cool logo to see. I mean, I just think the Redskins are just a horrible franchise overall. So they could really use a rebranding.
Maybe they should go Washington Haskins for Dwayne Haskins. Do you guys hear that?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. I mean, they're an awful franchise, but they are what they are. So,
do we have any last-minute comments here from NFL news? All right, then I guess we will be right back with Go Chat with the GOAT of the week.
Welcome back to GOAT Chat. We just had a great conversation about the NFL and news around it, but we are going to head right into the GOAT of the week. Last week, Mike won 2 in a row. He's got on the leaderboard, is up right now. He is leading us. He's got 3. I have 1. The rest of them have 2. So I think you guys, I need to pick this up. You guys need to vote for me. I don't care who their players are. Just disregard everything that they say and just vote for me. That's why, Tommy, I'm going to ask you, who is your GOAT of the week?
Well, I'm going to go with Masahiro Tanaka. On Saturday, he had a scary moment. Giancarlo Stanton was up in a simulated game that Tanaka was throwing, and Masahiro was hit by a line drive back in the head. And luckily, he's okay. He only has a mild concussion. A CT scan came back negative on Saturday. He was released from the hospital that night. Super scary moment. Especially since it was the first official day that the Yankees were working out. And, it was interesting. I heard them talking about MLB Network. They were talking about how normally when you do simulated games at the beginning of spring training, the hitters really aren't into their full rhythm. So, they're not going to hit it as hard if it goes back to the mound. Well, this one was 112 miles an hour back to the mound. Incredibly scary moment, but I'm glad that he's doing well. Wishing him a speedy recovery and looking forward to seeing him back out there soon.
Yeah, 100%. That's awesome. I hope he feels better too, and he comes back too soon. Mike, who's your GOAT of the week?
Well, first off, I want to say, listen, the Bills might not be the kings of the AFC East yet, but as of right now, I am the king of the GOAT of the week. I am the leader. So, listen, I'm just throwing that out there. Take that as you want. Well, I'm the king. Anyways, my GOAT of the week this week is Maya Moore. She sat out all of the last WNBA season to help free Jonathan Irons, who was serving a wrongful conviction of 50 years. So big props to her, sacrificing her NBA season to help, someone out, just some stranger off the street that she knew, that she saw that something was wrong, and she goes out of her way, doesn't play the whole WNBA season and helps free him from prison. So big shout out to her.
Yeah, that's definitely a good three-peat right there. I'm kind of scared now. But Connor, who's your GOAT of the week?
I'm going to go with Bryson DeChambeau. You guys may not be familiar with the name, but a golfer on the PGA Tour. And this man is 6'1", 204. He is brawling. He's been in the news this past week. They did just wind up finishing up the tournament there at the Rocket Mortgage Classic, where he did win with a score of 23 under par. But that's not the biggest news of the week with him. So all throughout the week, he was hitting the ball consistently straight over 330 yards. I can't hit the ball more than 150. They went through his daily intake of food. Let me walk you through this here for just a second. Breakfast, 4 eggs, 5 pieces of toast, and 2 protein shakes. That's an entire day. Lunch, he has 2 peanut butter and jellies, 2 protein shakes while he's out doing a practice course, and snacking after his practice course. And then for dinner every day, steak, potatoes, and 2 more protein shakes. It's 3,500 calories a day. And this man's out here hitting balls 330 yards. It's impressive. And now he has another win under his belt. This is his 4th year in a row where he has at least one PGA Tour win. He is the GOAT of the week.
I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like a Sunday. That sounds like a Sunday to me. I mean, I'm getting like 12 protein shakes. No, I'm kidding. But my GOAT of the week.
I feel like I would just get bored, if I had the same thing every day. I mean, those protein shakes 4 a day. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's wild. My GOAT of the week is James Conner, the Pittsburgh Steelers running back. A month ago, he surprised his dad with a new truck. But his Santa Claus moments didn't stop there. He surprised his mom with a new house this past week. It was a great video on Instagram. Just great. I've talked about giving back to the people who gave 100% to you, who gave their life taking care of you and raising you as a kid. So I think that this is great. It's not Mother's Day, but it's still something great you could do for your mom. You don't have to spend anything for your mom or dad. You don't have to spend that just for Mother's Day. That could be any day. Every day is Mother's Day. Every day is my day too. I'm going to be the king at the end of this. I'm going to be the king soon enough. And I hope you guys vote for me. This is my plea. Please vote for me. Please, please. It's like those.
Vote for the person who's actually out here winning tournaments right now.
All right, that's golf, buddy. I mean, this is like a new thing, Hey, if this was golf, I would be the king technically. So I think we need to call me the king. I mean, I have the lowest amount, 1, the king.
Oh yeah, that's right. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but definitely, you guys vote for whoever you want. Just please.
Someone looks a little desperate over here.
Yeah, I know. I think you guys should just give me the win. All right. That is enough of the GOAT of the week. That is enough about me pleading for any votes. Any last things you want to say, guys?
Mike is never going to be a king, and don't ever let him tell you otherwise.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for Go Chat. Please
just wait until I win this week.
Please like, comment,
3 in a row. Call me Michael Jordan.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on every social media to be up to date with everything that we do. We drop tier list Tuesdays. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry, but we have something new planned. I feel you guys are gonna like it. It's more of a fan thing to do. So hint, So anything else you guys want to say?
Just thanks for watching and looking forward to Thursday.
For sure. 16.
Away.
I know. Thank you guys for watching, and we will be back on Thursday.